What's up, guys? This is Bad Bam here, and today, well, not today, we're gonna send a rover to the moon, or to the Mun. Easy, you may think, but we have Remotetech installed, and we're gonna be going through those paces to have a satellite link so we can talk to our rover. It's gonna make it a lot more difficult, but it's gonna make it that much more cool. So we're going to have to set up a satellite link to get in there and get to the moon. And we're going to do this Curiosity style. Some of you may not know what Curiosity was or is and still is on Mars. Well, we sent a rover to the moon, a 1-ton rover, and the way they got it there is they broke through the atmosphere and everything went smooth. But they had we'll call it a sky crane, that let the rover down on a tether while the rest of the crane was held up and supported in the air by jets or rockets or whatever, and it came down and lowered the rover onto the surface. This is difficult to do in KSP. We have a few mods to help us out. But first things first, let's start with our satellites. And this is a sandbox mode, so it should be easier. Let's go. Here is our first launch, going off without a hitch. We'll experience the problems later on, but we'll deal with those problems when we get to them. We have some time acceleration to help us out during these long burns and such. Getting out of atmosphere, it's tedious, it's long, no one likes to see it, and it's easier in fast forward mode. Slipping through our fuel quickly. We have Ferrum Aerospace installed, so I probably should have made my gravity turn a little bit faster to get us up out of the atmosphere, since it's thinner with this mod. Now, problems in launch coming up here in a moment. We're gonna lose a bit of fuel. Kind of embarrassing for the first launch, but it happens. Here we go. We've seen that so many times, but the explosions, they look cooler in 0.25. Now, as you can see, oh, there we go. We get a little side view. We can see our little satellites that we're going to be launching out from this spacecraft. Going through, extending our Communitron 32, brought in by our Remotetech mod. So, let's us talk to Kerbal. We can see we have a green link between us and the Kerbal Space Center. That's Remotetech letting us know that we are talking to the boys back at home. Continue up orbital insertion, burning and burning, time acceleration, lots of it. Gotta love moving quicker. And we have orbit. Getting out our solar panels, twisting so they can see the sun when we peep out around the planet. There's that sun, good old sun. Now we come through, start extending the communitrons on all the little satellites, so that when they detach, we don't have to worry about losing communication with them and there being a dead satellites. We don't want that. That would be very, very embarrassing. And we've run out of fuel in our second to last stage, so we're going to go ahead and start opening these solar panels. And opening them adjacent to each other at an angle so nothing clips when they come off of our spacecraft. We don't want any broken panels, lose power quickly with those communitrons going. They do suck power in this mod, so having them extended to make your spacecraft look cooler will inevitably lead to more power consumption. And now we're separating out our stages. Didn't put the clavitrons or decouplers in the right place, so gotta pull those down so we can separate them. And here they go, they're about to fly. Oh wait, nope. We have to set up our little antennas, and you can right click on them, activate them, and then click target and target the control center. By putting these on here later, we'll be able to target specific satellites around the moon. So it'll be easier to connect, or we'll probably be sending up a satellite hub, something these will connect to that will be in view of the moon 90 to 80% of our time. So these will decouple here pretty soon. You can see all the little things we can target when we send satellites and stuff to other planets. We'll be able to control them with a bit of time delay, but we'll have to put some bigger satellites up with some bigger antennas and receivers to be able to talk to things that far out. Going through, looking at the names, I didn't realize naming them now probably wasn't the best idea, because when they leave, they'll all have the same name, because they are debris from this spacecraft. So they'll have the same name when they leave. I'll have to rename them later. I believe here we go. They're good. Oh, satellites are live and more time acceleration. And here I realized that I didn't pack enough fuel. I realized that right about now. So I'm like, ah, shit. So I have an idea that I've done many times before. I get out and push. And boy, was this a time-consuming process. Just back and forth, back and forth. Here's something I like to do occasionally when I end up in situations, in low thrust situations, is asphyxiate a Kerbal just outside in a parking orbit over the spacecraft or beside the spacecraft, and then activating the engines, or in this case the RCS pack, to give it a little push to see how fast I'm going relative in speed. And look at that acceleration, it's blinding. Good, now there goes our Kerbal. Oh, I believe that's Jebediah. Good on you, Jeb. Oh yeah, look at that smile. That's definitely, he's excited. He's always excited. Ooh, flying away, and ooh, that time acceleration. This music is just disorientating at this speed. Oh, those little RCS packs just a going. You can see our little Communitron. Man, this took so long. You're getting in and out, in and out, in and out. But we are going to go to the satellites. I believe we've come down pretty low. We're going to set this so that we can communicate with the control center. We probably don't need it because we have that big 32 Communitron on top that we have activated, so we shouldn't have to do that, but we're just going to do it just for laughs. Come over here to our satellites and start setting them up, getting their solar panels extended, getting their antenna asphyxiated in the right direction. Popping all those out. We're going to face them towards the sun so they're nice and illuminated. Got to get all of them out. Probably should have time accelerated here, but it's okay. And we are selecting active vessel, so if anything targets this, it will still respond. So that's good. But we still have that Communitron on top, so they have one heck of a reach. When I started this, I didn't realize how much of a reach they had, but hey, it works better for me. It'll serve well when we are in orbit around the Mun. But we are starting our acceleration burns, going to get our apoaps asphyxiated in the right place at, I believe, 2686, I believe it was. I think that's the proper orbit. Switching through, I believe we're going to try our atmospheric deacceleration. Going to close up all of those antennas and solar panels, make sure nothing's exposed. We're going to come skipping through the atmosphere relatively quickly, not enough to slow us down, but over time we'll get it done. Jeb and Bill won't be stuck in orbit for very long. Actually, probably a lot longer than they anticipated. If we hadn't lost that orange fuel tank in the beginning, we probably would be okay right now. Zipping back to satellites, getting everything set up, going to our apoaps. Oh no, just waiting till we we get in touch with Kerbin. There's all those lines, all the satellites are talking to each other through their communitrons. It's a beautiful thing. I really recommend the communitrons, sticking those on there whenever you're doing these satellite things, because going through and making sure all of your dishes are pointed in the right directions are kind of tedious, and it's back-breaking labor setting up satellites. First world problems, you know how it is. And now we're going to point ourselves in the right. Oh, there's one we missed. Gonna get pointed in the right direction, and we are clear. Our little RCS, we swung a little bit too far on that one, but we are with the sun behind us and the moon in the shot. We can see all the little satellites too from off the side. They have little indicators and purple dots coming through, getting our apoaps in the correct place at that sweet geostationary orbit point. Let's see, 3020 some. I'm not sure. I can't even read it. It's the print so small on this edit screen. Switching to get everything good to go. Get ready for the next burn. Oh wait, no, we're burning right now. That RCS, we have so much delta V in these things. They could go anywhere. Put them into any orbit, but we want to keep them semi-close to Kerbin, so those communitrons will keep working. There you can see they've got some distance. That may be that may be our antenna pointed at Kerbin. But even still, we have connection with the communitron because it's still talking to the other satellites. Whipping around, just making sure everything's right. We can see these satellites just kind of talking to each other. That's a really good shot right there of how they communicate. We can be in contact with Kerbin at any time, even if they are on the opposite side of the planet like we are now. And we're coming through trying to get our speed down again, letting it whip through the atmosphere. We'll probably on the next apoaps we'll get out and push some more, just try to really dig us down into that atmosphere. But we'll have to continue on this next time in episode 2, and we're going to keep working on those satellites.